Today, we're going to talk about a stock route that you should probably start looking at in your offense in Madden 25, and that is going to be the fade pattern. Now, we're not talking about the fade pattern that gets an outside release and takes forever to get vertical. We're talking about basically a streak that angles outside the further it gets downfield, and why it can beat a cover four, whether it's lined up on the numbers or inside the numbers. And with cover four being the main defense that everyone likes to run, the more of these you have in your offense, the better off you're going to be. Let's get into what makes this route so effective and why it's a one-play touchdown. So to start off, let's talk about the shape of the route that we're looking for. When you take a look here at this formation, the play in the middle of your screen, motion slot under. The fade route that we're looking at right here is the right side receiver. You notice that it's basically a streak that just kind of falls off to the sideline the further it gets downfield. This is the exact route that we are looking for when we're looking for something that can bomb cover four for a one-play score. Now, I've done a tip out of this exact formation before, so make sure that you're subscribed right here to the Zan Madden YouTube channel as I drop content Monday through Friday in the mornings with shorts in the afternoons to keep you on top of the game. And a lot of these concepts can come back and be explained in other formations. And that's what makes this channel so useful, because while you might not run the exact playbook that I'm in, you can still utilize some of these conceptual tips and install them within your own offense to be successful against the meta or the most effective tactics available. So the really cool thing about this route is that it does a really good job of splitting the difference of the inside quarter in the outside quarter in a cover four defense. So we're trying to make the safety think that the outside corner has it. And we're trying to make the outside corner think that the safety has it. So when we go ahead and run this concept, one of the things that helps with the outside corner is a wheel route, because when you have this wheel route outside of this fade, that'll make the outside corner just drop down just a little bit more because it's looking at the running back as it wheels up the sideline. And also, again, thinking that the safety on the inside is going to help him out. So what I'll do is I'll snap the ball and let Julio Jones run in between those two players and freeform this up and outside. And you're going to see right here that we can rack this right by the outside corner for the one-play score. I've done this tip before. Like I said, this is the route that is so effective against the outside quarter lined up inside the numbers. So just to give you a little bit of a top-down view here, you can see that our player splits the deep zones perfectly, and we're able to freeform this up and outside. I am on small freeform, so you guys can do this on medium or large or no max as well. Now let's go ahead and get into how this route works when you want to run it outside the numbers. And to do this, I'm going to illustrate this out of the play verticals in the bunch tight end. And what's going to be really interesting about this is that while we don't have a route that bends to the outside like this, you'll notice that the seam route to Calvin Johnson is basically the similar shape of that route, and we just need to motion it across. Now, the weird thing about this is that even against a cover four defense with off coverage on the outside, that's 99 speed Randy Moss on the outside, you're going to see right here that this actually will get over the top of his head if you have the correct stride style. And again, if you want to run a wheel route on this as well, you can. It's not going to impact the outside quarter nearly as much, but you will see here that I can freeform this up and over the top of his head for a completion on the sideline. For whatever reason, the locomotion of the outside quarter against this particular route just kind of gives up on it, even if it's lined up on the numbers, contrasted to our first rep where it was lined up inside the numbers. So for whatever reason, you see right here that he just kind of slows down and stops guarding this, and we're able to kind of fit this in. Now, what I do is I usually freeform this up and I will conservative catch. You see right there, we didn't quite get our feet in, but you definitely saw the give up of the outside corner. So let's go ahead and get a rep here that you'll definitely notice is going to end up being an easy lob over the top. So again, I'll just motion this route across, maybe put a wheel on the field. Really do whatever you want with the rest of your route combo. I wouldn't recommend 5 verticals, but obviously if you're facing some sort of cover 4 where they're rushing 3, this is going to be a little bit easier throw for you. So again, you're just going to see right here with this wheel route, it kind of makes that outside quarter drop inside, and I can drop this in a bucket on the... Now, why we just missed that throw a little bit out of bounds, I mean, really, we just didn't get 2 feet in. I do also want to talk about some other factors that will make this particular route combo or this route in general more effective. And that is the stride style of the player that's running the route, and also the stride style of the player that is defending the route. Believe it or not, this is a great route for what we call the long stride trait. So one of the best player types that you can find that runs this route is going to be some sort of tall receiver, 6'2", 6'3", 6'4", with the long stride trait. Now, in our last example, Randy Moss was the corner covering that, and he's also tall with the long stride trait. In this example, I put a regular size player with default trait on this particular zone. And what you're going to see is that the long stride of Calvin Johnson versus the default stride of the outside corner actually allows this route to get more open. It's quite funny how this works. In fact, another thing that is going to be great about this is the height difference. So you see right here, I can tuck this ball on the sideline and how I just basically rack this right by the guy, and we're basically out for a touchdown here. So when you throw this correctly, this is going to be something that is really, really hard to defend, especially if you have a long strider and they don't have a long strider guarding it. So again, this is such a good throw. When you're talking about throwing this down the sideline, one of the things that I will try to do is I will try to put this ball where it lands kind of like on these hash marks. You see right here how I'm catching the ball. It's going to take a little bit of practice when you do it at a bunch tight end. Obviously, if you're running this in between the numbers like the beginning of the video, it's just an up and out free form with a lot of room for air. With this one, you'll notice that if you can tuck this right on these hash marks on the sideline, a lot of times the defensive back will give up, and this will be a one-play score. So again, right there, you see a lot of things in play here. Paul long strider as fast as possible will run by a default or a short strider in an outside quarter. And honestly, if they don't have someone super tall to combat that, you're going to be able to tuck that throw into the hash marks either way and run underneath of it. Even when they have KOs right there, that Clinton Dix item had a KO ability and it wasn't able to trigger it. So really good route that you guys should be throwing. Obviously this is against cover 4, but one of the other features of this is that it bombs cover 2 as well. Just the behavior of this route just would make sense that this would get open into that what we call cover 2 window. For those that aren't aware of what that means, that is the area in between a deep zone and a cloud flat on the sideline. And one of the things you can definitely do with this is motion this to the outside if you're in the compressed version of this, and you're going to see that this route just is such an easy free form to the outside. A lot of times that safety can't get there without some sort of KO, and that'll be a touchdown. But obviously a lot of players like to attack the sidelines against cover 2 anyways, but this is actually a little bit more effective than a traditional streak down the sideline against that call. So make sure that you guys install this in your offense. If you guys like the video, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Check out the other content here on the channel if you want to get better at Madden, or head over to Gridiron Game Plans, my strategy website, link in the description. I'll see you guys later this afternoon or tomorrow with another long form video upload. Until then, this is Zan. Get the lab and good luck.